Oh, hey there. Guess what? Divi Engine is doing a brand new tutorial series focused on the Divi Theme Builder. Now, this is a functional tutorial series, and you just found the first installment of that. We're going to be building a single page template for our blog posts. Now, what we'll be building is something that kind of resembles this. It's actually exactly what we'll be building. Now, this doesn't look like a lot, but if we break it down, you can see that we're using a lot of dynamic data on the page here. We're using text modules to show post titles. We're adding scroll down anchor links. We're using the featured image. We're using a little bit of excerpt information to display more stuff on the screen. We've got author information, post navigation, related posts from the same category, as well as comments, a little title section, as well as an opt-in module. So if you've been wondering how to utilize the Divi Theme Builder to the max to build the best dynamic site you can with stock Divi, you're in the right place. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe so that you do not miss any of the installments in this series. And this is the first of 4 in this one. And we can't wait for you to learn more. So what am I waiting for? Let's go and get started. Alrighty guys, so here we go. Now you've already seen what we're going to be building today. Now I wanted to show you quickly where the inspiration for this came from, and it is this layout that I am looking at right here. And this was actually a free download from Divi at the team at Elegant Themes. So you can go ahead and download this. We're going to kind of have this be the basis of our inspiration. It won't look exactly the same as you saw, but it gives us a springing board. And of course, they don't teach you how to use these templates really. They make them available for you to download, but they don't really get into high customization or how to go build something like this for yourself. So we're gonna start here on the back end of our Divi site. And what we're gonna be doing is heading over to the theme builder. Now in the theme builder, the only thing that I have done, and if we look here on the front end, you can see what our single pages look like for our posts at this moment in time. And, you know, it's nothing great, you know, some basic stuff on here. We definitely wanted to make it look a little bit better. And all I've added here is this header that was also downloaded from the Elegant Themes website. So all this stuff is available to you guys. So I'm not going to go through setting all of that stuff up. The other thing that I have done also is set up some custom button styles as well as my fonts and stuff like that. But, you know, I'll be linking a video in the description if you don't know how to do that. We certainly do have some information for that for you guys. Okay, so back to the back end of my Divi site here. I'm going to go into Theme Builder. And now, first thing we got to do is add a new template. And the way that we do that is we just click here on Build New Template. And now, because we're going to be working with all the posts, we want to say posts, all posts. Now, if you have some custom post types and stuff like that in there, you can also create custom single page layouts for those. But so we're just going to be working with posts. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on Create Template. Now, we've got a template created here. Copy the global header over. The next thing we need to do is go and add a custom body. And now we'll just say Build Custom Body. First things first, we're going to be setting up just kind of like the little header section, which is just going to have the post title in it. And then we're going to be adding some more information. So let's go and put a single column row here. And then we're just going to type in text. And that might be counterintuitive because, you know, you can use post title module, but I'm going to show you, we're going to be using that module also, but we're going to use it to display the metadata. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be utilizing the Divi dynamic data options. And then what I can do here is I can go and select my post archive title. So it's going to pull in the post name. And there you go. We've got all that info right there. Now, when you edit this, you can add some before and after text. I don't think that's necessary, but we're going to go to the design options and we're going to go to text. Now, we want to change this default font, and I want that to be our Brill fat face, which is what we're using for our headers on this site. I am going to increase the size of this to about 32 and give it this darker black color, 32. Maybe we'll go with 36. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And that is the start of that. Now, next up, I'm going to add one more module here, and I can kind of see that It's hidden back there, easy fix. Just go into the module view. And now we're going to use that post title module. I'm going to be using it to display our metadata here. So we're just going to go into elements and we just switch the title off, and I'm just going to go back into the front end view. And now you can kind of see a little bit more information. You can see how many comments this has and all that fun stuff will be added in there. Now you can switch any of these on and off. You can change the date format, anything that you would like to do. Now, the other thing I want to do, you can go and decide whether you want on the left or right, but I will also be disabling our featured image here. So title off and featured image off, and you'll see that that takes that away. You can align it to the right or the left. That's entirely up to you. But now we've got a basic layout here. Now we're going to be using that featured image now. I'm going to be adding 2 columns, a 2-column row, that is. The first thing that we're going to be adding is a blurb module, because what we want to recreate here is this little scroll down button. And we'll just put a blurb in there. We'll just say, read more over there. And we can go ahead and delete this text out. Actually, I'm going to move this down instead. I want to use that font over there. And then we go to image and icon. We say use icon instead. And then we can just use whatever is pleasing to us as a down scrolling icon. And let's just use the plain down arrow. And that's that. So we're going to go to the design options now, and then we're going to start styling the colors of this. So I'm going to use this blue color that we used in our header. And then what we're going to do also is we want to put a border radius on that. And we're going to be adding a border right down here. We're going to put that at 3 pixels. And I can kind of see it's got that going on. We're going to give it that color, but it looks like the border radius is not enough. Maybe we do 25%. That's also not making it nice and round, so let's just go 100 pixels. There we go, nice and round. We've got the alignment in the middle. Maybe I just want to bring that font size of the icon down a bit. There we go, maybe 62. I like that. We're going to align it to the left, and now we've got this kind of like read more thing going on. Last thing I want to do is just go ahead and adjust the body text actually. And I just want to make that a little bit more bold so it's easy to see. And that's going to be good for that one. Okay, great. Now, next up, I'm going to be adding an image here. I'm going to put image. And then I'm going to delete what's in there. And we're going to be using those dynamic data features again. I'm going to click on this, and we're going to say the featured image for this post. I noticed one thing that I want to do also is I'm going to adjust the column sizes here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the column icon here, and then I'm going to make this kind of like something like that. And this, I think, is going to work a little bit better. It's a nice big image for us to take a look at. We have actually made a lot of progress so far. If you want to check how we're doing, we can go ahead and save this. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And then remember, when you add a new template, you have to double save up here. Now, when we refresh this page, let's take a look at what we see. All right, so we've got a little bit of progress here. Things are happening. This button, of course, doesn't work yet, but we are going to be hooking that up. But it's kind of coming together right now. Cool. Okay, so we're going to hop back here and continue on our journey. Okay, so actually, I'm going to go with the same column size that I used over here. And we're just going to start here by adding maybe another text module. And I'm going to show you something cool that we can do here. I want to add an additional piece of information that's unique to this post type, but not the content yet and not the title. So I'm going to go and delete this out, and I'm going to ask it with the dynamic settings again to put the post excerpt in there. Now, what's clever about this is that you can come over here and you can edit your post. And if you go down over here, you can put some excerpt text. And maybe let's just generate some lorem ipsum text. There's a lot of generators out there. If you need me to, I'll link one in the description. But you can just tell it, I just want, I don't know, 20 words. And generate that. Here we go. And now you can utilize that excerpt feature there for almost anything where you want an additional piece. Maybe you want a quote or something like that on the site. I don't know. But I'm going to update this post now. And then let's go back and view it on the front end. So let's click on this and we will go view post. close that out. And of course, it's not there yet because I haven't saved this yet. So let me just go ahead and save that. And then I will show you what that has done for us. Okay, so now we've got that text in there. That's pretty awesome. Now I'm going to go ahead and make another change here. And I'm going to make this text the same thing. It's kind of like a title, right? So I'm going to be adding two things here. I'm going to be changing the type of text, and I'm going to say, okay, well, this is going to be my Brill fat face font also. And I will not make that camel case. I'm going to make this 23, and I'm going to make sure that the line height's 1. There we go. And I'm going to give it a little bit of pixel spacing. I want this to look a little bit different than the rest of what we've got going on here. I'm also going to go to the border here, and I'm going to put a left border, and I'm going to make that maybe 5 pixels. Maybe even a little bit more. Maybe we'll go with 15. There we go. And last thing, I want to make it our blue color that we're kind of using throughout, or maybe orange. Well, let's go with orange. This is not a design class. This is a functionality class. So we've got that. And now we need to give this text a little bit of room on the left-hand side. You can see that it's kind of scooched up there. So I'm going to put left padding of 15. And you kind of see how it gave itself a little bit of room. And I think that's starting to look pretty okay here. Now, next up, we want to make sure that we are also adding post content to the page. So we're going to go ahead and do that by adding yet another module here. Now, you can continue working in one row, or you can go ahead and do more rows. That's entirely up to you. I am for now going to be sticking in this one. So now I'm going to be adding our post content module. Now it's got a whole bunch of stuff in here that might be looking a little overwhelming, and you'd be like, what's all these headings in there? It's only to demonstrate what these headings would look like if in the text for this post that we have here, if I edit post again, this text, if you're using HTML tags like H1, H2, whatever, this is giving you a preview of what those would look like over here. And here's, you've got a block quote in here, and I kind of simulated a block quote over there. So that's that. But there's not too much to be done here. We can go in and you can change the font size. You can do all sorts of interesting things like just normal design stuff. We don't need to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and save this. And then we'll go view our front page yet again. And now you can see we're starting to make a lot of progress. And we've got this scroll down button, and we're going to hook that up right now, where we can go for the read more, and it'll pull us right down here to where the content is. So let's go do that real quick. We can do that quite easily by here on the content module. We're going to go to advanced, and all we need to do is give it an ID, and we will just say start-content, and we'll copy that, and we'll come back up here, and now we're going to go to this module. I'm going to say, okay, cool. What do we want to do? I'm actually going to give the module an explicit width though, because you kind of see how it makes a big box, and you'll see why I do that. Let's go with 100 pixels. Okay, that gives it that. Oh, actually, let's make it max width 100 pixels. There we go. Okay, so now we've got this over here. All you're going to do is come to the link, and now we're just going to add an anchor link. So all we're going to do is put hash, and then that start content that we have, it's going to be in the same window. Module link targets in the same window, of course, and that's all we need to do. Now, if we go ahead and save this, and we come to our front end up here, and we click it, bam, it scrolls right down to our content. How cool is that? That's pretty sweet. Okay, so moving on, we want to go and add a little bit of a post navigation down here. And for that, we're going to start with adding a new row at the bottom. So we're going to do another full width row, and I can just go ahead and type in post. Then it brings up post navigation, and it'll think for a second. Then I'll have all posts and all that fun stuff. Now we can give it some specific text here, and we can just go previous post or previous blog. And I'm going to copy that, paste that, and then we'll just say next blog entry. There we go. Now we can go ahead and play with the colors again. You can put the categories, navigate within the current category. We're going to be showing relevant posts in a second here to this category. So I'm just going to say, let's stick to this as is. We'll go with navigation. We'll show both of those. And then maybe what we'll do is we'll just kind of change the link color to be our blue. And let's make that a little bit bolder so it's nice and visible. And maybe we'll bump it up by about 2 pixels. Cool, I'm digging on that. Now we want to maybe just also here for this row right here, let's just take the padding on the bottom away, because I think it would look better if it kind of scooches up right to the bottom there. So spacing, padding bottom, 0. And we can again go double check and see what we did on the front end. So I'm going to refresh my page here. So we're going down. Okay, previous blog entry. There we go. We can go ahead and check that out. And it brings up the previous one, and we can go to the next one. Simple stuff, but it's looking pretty good so far. Okay, let's head back in. And next up, we want to put up some author information. Now I'm going to just add another row here. Bam. And all I'm going to do is add a blurb in here. And now I'm going to delete the title out here, and we're going to do something fancy. We're going to go ahead and select the author, post author. There we go. And that is going to put in the author's name. You can put the public display name. You can do first and last name. It is going to be up to you. You can even link the name, but we're not going to be doing that for right now. And we are also going to be deleting this body out. And we're going to put the author bio in there. So we just select author bio. So we're using a lot of dynamic settings here. It's really cool. And then same thing with the image, man. We're going to be deleting the stock image out of there. We're going to be adding the author profile picture. There I am. And I think what would look great is if we kind of center this stuff. So let's come here to design. I'm going to go image and icon, placement top. That's going to be in the middle. That's great. I'm going to add a radius here. So let's just add 100 pixels there. And now it's round. And let's go to our title text. Title text is, well, actually, we can probably just go text and it'll center all of it. Boom. There we go. Now, one other thing I want to do here also is with this row, I am going to be adding that border that you see there. We can go ahead and put that in there. We'll just use that orange that we used up there to kind of separate it from the rest of the post. So let's go to border. We're not going to use around the corners. We'll maybe use 2 pixels and we'll use orange. And there we go. Now we've got a nice little section for the author. So we can go ahead and pull this up on the front end, take a peek at what we did. And there we go. We've got all the author information. I think that is looking pretty decent at this point. Now, if you wanted this to be a bit wider, you can adjust the blurb's width. I think the default's like 500 pixels for a blurb module. Not exactly certain right now. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's about 550. So if you wanted to make it wider, you see how the text goes out a little bit wider, but I like the default. I'm going to keep it at that. Now, let's say you wanted to maybe just say that this was the author, or maybe you want to put something like written by. So you can go and do that by going back to the text here, and you can go back to post author, and you can put something like written by : and you can do that, and you can see how it adds that right in there. That's entirely up to you. I'll leave that in there for now. And there you go. So now we've got the author in there. What are some other relevant pieces of information? Well, of course, I said that we wanted to go ahead and add some categories that relate, or other posts that relate to this category. Now, that's not that hard to do. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we will, you guessed it, add another row here. We're going to do a 3-column row, okay? We are going to be adding a blog module to the first column. And you kind of see how it brings stuff in already. Now, we're only going to show 3 relevant posts that come from the same category. We're going to be selecting posts, of course. We're going to put post count down to 1. And you kind of see how it thinks, and it puts 1 in there. And now it's got the option here for all categories. Now, you can just go ahead and select current category, and it will include all posts with the same category. You can see this one here says beach. That's entirely up to you. What you want to do, you can put, do you want excerpts on there? I'm going to say for the first one, we're just going to do the title. No, excerpt length, post offset, perfect. Elements, I'm going to show the featured image. We want the author, we want the date. We don't want the excerpt to be displayed. There we go. And we don't want pagination. because we just want to kind of show the relevant post to this category. I'm going to go over now to the design, and for layout, we're going to say it's full width. That's fine. We're going to go here to text again, and we're going to just center all the text so it shows nicely over there. Cool. Now, easy peasy, we can just duplicate that one. We can move this over. And one thing we're going to want to do is, since this is going to pull in the first related one, we are going to want to offset it down here by 2, because we're going to put another one in there. Okay. So save that. And then we can duplicate this one again, put it in there. There we go. Pull it. There we are. Oh, it just does not want to go. Come on, Divi, work with me. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to edit this one again, and we're going to do something different for the middle one, because as you can see in this one, we've got kind of like this longer one. They used a bigger image. We can go do the same thing, but what I kind of want to do is something a little bit different. And I want to highlight the middle one, kind of make it seem like a featured one by adding the excerpt text. So content length, show excerpt, use post excerpt, of course. And then elements here, I will say show excerpt. And now you can see that it adds that little bit of extra information over there. Now I do want to make this middle image a bit bigger, so we will go with the column setup here, and we'll select this one. And that really highlights that middle one. And again, another great addition. Yeah, and I'm just realizing maybe we want to put a title here too. So let's just add another row. We'll just put some text. And what I'm going to do is delete that out. I'm going to put a H2 tag here. H2, and I'm just going to say related posts. There we go. And there we go. Maybe I want to make that text a little bit larger. I will go to the heading. I'll select H2. And then I will give it a little bit of a boldness to it. I'm going to give it a little bit of letter spacing there. And then we'll bump this up to 32. All right. Making progress, folks. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm just going to save that for now. Let's take a look on the front end. Okay, now look. This is not the most beautiful thing you'll ever see in your life, but hey, it's working, and you're learning how to build this yourself. So you geniuses out there get to go ahead and decide what you want this to be. Looks like this image didn't have a post associated. Now, also one thing that you'll notice is that if there's not enough posts here, that it will actually go ahead and just duplicate the same one. So just bear that in mind, because I think there's only 3 of these post types. And by the way, I'm using a plugin called Post Faker or FakerPress. Now you can use FakerPress to generate a whole bunch of content here for your site, and that is how I got all these posts over here. So bear that in mind if you want to test this. So that will give you all of that. Okay, so let's start buttoning this up. One other thing that we definitely want to do is give the ability to add comments to the site. So let's go ahead and do that by creating another row. And then firstly, we're going to say text, and then we will go ahead and delete this out. And what we wanted to do now is to go ahead and use that dynamic data again, and we can actually go ahead and pull in the amount of comments. So I'm going to go ahead and select the comments, and then you can go and say this site has, and you kind of see how it starts typing there. I'm going to make a space. So it adds a space there, and then I'll need to add another space, comments. There you go. And you can link to the comments area. That's fine. And there we have that. Now I'm going to go ahead and work with our text again. And I think the Abril fat face will work a little bit better here. Maybe we'll even make this text color blue, the blue that we have configured. And maybe we'll just increase the size a little bit. 21 looks good to me. Well, no, actually, let's go a little bit higher. Let's go to 28. There we go. Cool. So that's that part sorted. Now we're going to go ahead and add, and we got that funky double view again. And we'll just go ahead and add our comment section. And to style this, we'll just open it on the front end, scroll down, And now we've got, oh goodness, it's got comments in there already. No, well, we can go ahead and switch that right off. We can add the reply button, the avatar, or whoever is logged in, and then we can go ahead and submit comment and all that fun stuff. Not much you really will do here unless you really want to. That's entirely up to you. And you can go ahead and adjust the colors and styles and all that fun stuff. Let's save this up. And then let's quickly refresh on the front end. So we've got our related posts now. Now we've got this side as 2 comments. We've got the actual comments. You can reply. You can do all that fun stuff. And that is a lot of progress in a short amount of time. Great. Now, what are some other things you might want on here? Well, maybe you want the site title to display here at the bottom. Well, let's do that. I can go ahead and add another row. There we go. And I am just going to go ahead and type in some text, and you guessed it. We're going to be using the dynamic data again to pull in the site title, because maybe you change it down the road, right? So we're just going to go here with site title. You can see that it pulls that in right there. And we also want this text to be in the middle. There we go. And for this one, we'll just make this text size 32. We'll make it this darker color. And we will make that nice and bold. And you know what? Let's add some letter spacing even. Let's go crazy. Let's go 2 pixels. Wow. Okay. Alrighty. Now, the last thing I'm going to do with this, I'm going to add a divider. Well, we can add a divider, or you can just do border. I'm going to go with border right now. We're going to go with a top border of 2 pixels. There you go. And we will also add a bottom border of 2 pixels. Bam. Now you know where you're at, right? So a lot of stuff is happening here. It's happening quick. We've added that in there. Now, I think the final thing that you might want to add on this page is going to be something like an opt-in form, right? So that people can subscribe in case they want to keep following your adventure or whatever your blog might be about. So let's add another single column row. We're going to type in opt, and we'll go select that opt-in module, and you can see that it all pops up right here very easily and quickly. Now, you do need to configure some stuff here, so this might not show perfectly on the front end. Just so you know, you can select the fields. Maybe we just want the first name field and the email field to be in here. As far as text goes, we will say, follow my adventure, or whatever you want to put in there. You can go and add some text. I'm not going to bother with that too much right now. For the background color, we'll delete that one out. We'll use our fun orange. Well, that doesn't play too well with that blue, does it? Maybe yellow. There we go. Nice and striking, you know, it's a call to action. So you want people to see it and use it. And maybe we'll even just change that button to be orange. So we can easily do that. Let's quickly look at the layout. We want the body on the bottom. So body on the right, body on the bottom, form on top. There we go. Oh no, actually, I'm going to move the body to the top. Body on top. Ah, there we go. I like that. Okay, cool. So to change that button style, we'll just go to button down here. We'll enable custom button styles. Now I've configured custom button styles in the theme customizer. Again, I've linked the video in the description. Check it out. There you will see how to do all that stuff if you don't know yet. Now for the button background color, we're just going to select the orange, and bam, you can see it change instantly. And is that the best one? Yeah, let's just stick to the orange. And there we go. Now you can do other things like change the border radius. You know how this works. This is just a regular opt-in module, but I just wanted to show you that you can add all this stuff in your single post page. And if we come back here and we refresh this, we take it from the top and we scroll down, here we can see all these different things that we have. We've got our comments, we've got our theme builder series. Now, remember I mentioned that this might not display correctly. You need that connected to a transactional mail service, of course, and then that form will display. But we can see it here in the back end. Now we can also go ahead and navigate to another post to see what that looks like. Now this is the one that we have that does not have the image. Maybe we should try just to show you another category. Why don't we? Let's go and come back here to the back end of our site. We can close this out, and I'll just show you one more post before we sign off here. Let's just go for forest, right? Okay, so let's open that one in a new tab, check it out. And now you can see This button scrolls you down to the content. This one doesn't have much of an excerpt, but we scroll down, we can see here are forest related posts. It's got its comments, you can submit comments and all that fun stuff, guys. So yeah, that pretty much wraps this up. So guys, that wasn't that bad, was it? I hope that you guys enjoyed learning about using the Divi Theme Builder to build a single post page for that precious blog of yours. Now, we didn't cover everything you can do with this, but if you do want to take things a bit further, you are limited with just Divi. You should definitely check out Divi Machine, one of our plugins that lets you completely make that website of yours dynamic and take your blog to the next level with things like Ajax filters, more modules that you can utilize to put different pieces of the content on the page. It's fully integrated with ACF. It's a really awesome tool to help you build better blogs or any type of site that your mind can imagine. Now, guys, again, we would really appreciate a like and subscribe to the video. Definitely share it around. We hope to keep making you more content like this, and that's the type of stuff that motivates us. So guys, this has been Roby with the Divi Engine team. I really appreciate you being here. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.